when you're travelling for that long on a bike, obviously you need to keep fueled up, so energy is a big issue. But the one thing that you can't prepare for particularly is injury, and the fact that we've got 16 riders looking at 500 miles, we are going to have injuries, we are going to have crashes, and it's how we manage those injuries and crashes to the best of our ability which will enable us all to finish.
Hi, I'm Jack. Have you told the media, and if you have, how are they covering it?
The charity that we're supporting, Imagine Independence, have their own media wing. There's been a press release to the media, and it's been covered in the Liverpool Echo and various other small papers. With regards television, we were on, I think it was formerly Liverpool One Television, I think it's called Coast TV now, and they're actually thinking about sending a camera with us on the trip. The other media coverage obviously is the internet, and we've got a well-established site that one of the riders, Steve, put together, and hopefully as the ride nears, we'll get more and more media coverage.
Where are you most looking forward to going on the trip?
Paris, absolutely. It's one of my favourite cities in the world. I go quite regularly, go once a year. I believe we finish the same day as the tour.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible we're going to be mistaken for the leaders of the Tour de France. So that's clearly something that we're all looking forward to. Yeah, so look out for us. You might see us on TV. So that's my personal favourite. And of course it's the day we finish, which is always nice.
What luxuries are you bringing with you?
Well, beards.
Beards, yes.
We're bringing our beards.
Team beards.
Which is going to give us extra weight on the bike, which is clearly a disadvantage. I don't know if I've got any luxuries or.
I'm going to bring a lot of soap, okay? Because that many men working for that many hours each day is going to smell in a particular way. So I'm going to make sure that we can overcome that very quickly as soon as we get off the bike with the soap.
And finally, who inspired you to organise the events?
I think when we lost Phil Gibbons, it became very, very clear that the provision for mental health in the Northwest and in the country in general is very, very poor, and so we needed to raise as much money as we can in order to support mental health charities so that they can help people, so that things like what happened to Phil don't happen as often as they do.
Hi, I'm Molly. The first question is, how long do you think your beard's going to go?
Well, I'd said to my wife that I thought it might be fun to grow it until the last day, which I've worked out is about 4 months. Judging by its appearance, I think it needs to go sooner than that, but I'll see. I'll see. If I'm not divorced by the end of the ride, I may still have it. Personally, I don't know about you.
No, I think I'm in a strange predicament. As you can see, Sarah's got quite a healthy head of hair. I haven't. I need to shave mine regularly, otherwise it starts to look silly. So I'm going to have to shave my head and leave the beard, which will look like I've got an upside down head. So I'm in a bit of a bit of a problem time at the moment.
Are you thinking of doing any other charity work for the Mind charity after you do the challenge thing?
I think these events tend to lead to other things. I was involved with a previous event for Clare House charity, and that was where there were different teams. A team rode across Scotland, a team ran across Ireland, cycled through Wales, walked across England. And I think once you get involved in this, you benefit from what it gives back to the charity, but then also it's something that you start looking for, and you know, there may be other charities that come along, but certainly Mind, possibly something this could lead to more things in the future.
just to clear that one, we have raised money for Mind in the past, but this specific ride is for a charity called Imagine Independence. Okay.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you get to Brantford?
Lie down.
Can we go for a cycle around the city?
No, I think we need to. We'll have a big team photo. We'll probably have some champagne. Then we'll lie down, and then it'll be get all the stuff back on the buses and start heading home.
My last question. How are you going to prepare for the whole cycle?
We already are. It's not something that myself and Mr. Preston need to specifically prepare for, because we cycle all the time. But I think we need to, as a group, do a few what we call dry runs, where you cycle part of the route together, so that we can work out how we fare as a group. I think we all know as individuals how we're going to shape up come July, but as a group that's quite unpredictable. So we need to get out as a full group 2 or 3 times before the actual event, just to see what shape we're in.
I'm Gabriel, and what will you do when you're not cycling?
I think we've made contact with the hotels that we're staying at for the night times, and we've told them to accommodate for approximately 32 men, even though there's only 16 of us. The thought being the amount of food that we are going to consume when we get off the bike. It's very, very important when you're cycling for a long time that you take in an awful lot of fuel. So we are going to be eating somewhere in the region of 8,000 to 9,000 calories each per night, and then when we've finished eating we'll be sleeping.
Alright, and are you looking forward to doing it?
Oh yeah, we can't wait, can we?
Yeah, absolutely. Simple answer.
Poetry. Have you ever done something like this before?
Well, as I mentioned, yeah, I have. I was part of an event for Clare House. As I said, I did the Scotland leg, which was rowing across Scotland from Fort William to Inverness. And yeah, it was really, really good. It was a huge event, it was coordinated, and a lot of work goes in. And I just wanted to mention that although we're the ones cycling, there also needs to be attention on the support people behind the scenes, because all we have to do essentially is get on a bike and cycle all day. There's an awful lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, people that you won't even see. They get no credit for it as such. So they're the sort of people that we'll have in the back of our minds as well when we do the event.
Have you ever been to Paris before?
Yes.
Yeah, I worked in Paris for a summer as well for a company called Roche Pharmaceuticals. I also got engaged in Paris. My wife was lucky to be selected by me in Paris, and yeah, so yeah, it's got quite.
Was there a lineup?
Yeah, it was a selection procedure, and just like X Factor, she won, and she's continually grateful.
When you come back from Paris, what will you most look forward to be doing, or who will you most look forward to see again?
My children, my wife, my bed, the gym, which I'll miss because I'll probably lose a lot of weight, and
I think I'll miss my kids and my wife certainly, and I'm actually doing another sponsored event straight afterwards. I'm doing a sponsored 2 weeks lie down on a sunbed in Spain, pretty much immediately afterwards. So you had a question as well?
I've got like 6.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm the last one. So, my name is Kai, and you are also like single members of the Tower cycling team, and you're like cycling 500 miles from Liverpool to Paris this July. Can you explain why you got involved and what impact?
Right, sorry, Kai. So what?
Where are you going to stay in the marathon? When you're doing the marathon, where are you going to stay if you're going to need rest?
We're going to stay in hotels that have been booked for us along the route. Okay, the places, one is in a town called Lowminster, one is in a town called Abingdon. We're staying a night in a town called Newhaven, one in Everett, and then we're all the way back.
What ferry are you going to take when you're going from?
Don't know the name of the ferry, don't know the company that owns the ferry. That's going to be organised by the charity to get us across the water.
Okay. How long do you think you're taking?
Each day, how many hours do you think?
Well, as a group, you tend to ride slower. You have to sort of, the large group will probably break up into 3 smaller groups. And it's all about going at the speed of the slowest person. That's essentially how these things work. I would imagine 100 miles may take around about 8 hours at that speed. 12, 13 miles an hour just cruising along. You could do it quicker, but because we're in a large group, we may incorporate 2 or 3 stops a day, so somewhere in the region of 8 hours a day on the bike.
How much money do you want to raise for charity on the marathon?
Well, my simple answer is as much as possible. You may have a...
I think we had an original target of about £6,000. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility for us to raise £10,000.
Okay. What bike will you be taking to get there?
That's an interesting question, because a number of us are currently in the process of trying to buy new bikes. Currently I've got a Specialised and Mr. O'Brien's got a Giant, but I'm hoping to get a Trek, and Mr. O'Brien is hoping to get a Dolan.
A Dolan, a Ribble or a Borden.
Yeah.
So another reason why I might be getting divorced before the ride. Yeah, so most of us need to upgrade our bikes to ensure that they'll last the 500 plus miles.
Where will you actually be stopping in the race? If you
What reasons do this again in the future?
That will depend on our physical states by the time we've finished it. I think it's going to have quite a significant impact on our bodies. I think each of us will develop some sort of injury, at least in the short term. If it doesn't provide too much of a trashing event on our bodies, then yeah, I think something like this will happen again.
So are you nervous about late cycling to Paris?
No. The worst bit is waiting around for something like this. Not nervous, apprehensive, yes. As said before, lots of things can go wrong, lots of things will go wrong. And it's going to be a psychological hurdle as much as a physical one. We had an event on Sunday at the weekend, and we'd forgotten how hard something like this can be. We cycled upwards of 75 miles each at a race on Sunday, and it was a psychological thing, much more than physical. And there was 2 points in the day where I wanted to just go home. It was hailstones, it was in freezing cold conditions, but for whatever reason I stuck with it, and I was extremely proud at the end of the day, as I know yourselves were. So not nervous, but certainly apprehensive, yeah.
Do you know anybody else who's taken part in the Untitled cycle?
Who's done that type of event before?
No, like who do you know who's taken part?
Oh right, yeah. We all know each other. The people who are riding, the 16 riders, are either ex-students, current teachers, ex-teachers, a parent, a governor. So we all are linked with the school, yeah.
Do you know how you're going to cross the channel?
Hopefully in a boat.
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can't afford the boat, then we will, you know, the rescue swim where you actually tow and just use one arm.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
We might hitchhike on David Williams' back.
We're hoping for a boat.
And last of all, do you know what your route is?
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. The finer details, particularly of the part when we hit France, need to be clarified, and we're going to get somebody from the MFL department to phone up a few of the local areas and talk to the police and that over there, which is why you should always learn a language. Generally, the route is fairly nailed on, though. Yeah.
You just start to head where it gets warmer,
Yeah.
and you're going in the right direction. So we can't go too far on that.
One of the problems that we didn't realise at first was if you look on a map and you look at Liverpool and you look at Paris, it looks like it's all downhill, and that's why we thought it'd be a nice easy challenge. But it's not. Going north to south is not necessarily all downhill. It's a bit of a shock. But,